You suggested this episode, so.
So favorite part.
I don't want to take yours, so I think you should start.
I have so many. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So
you should just talk for the next 20 minutes.
Okay. So
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd on the Podcast. You didn't need it, but you deserve it. And we're all levels of vampire are welcome.
There you go.
there you go.
I don't know with this topic. Maybe not.
Maybe,
that's true.
No, you're right. But before we get to that, let's introduce a host. My name is Josh.
I'm Tom.
I'm Corey.
And this episode, for some reason, I just mid-word, I forgot what I was going to say, but I didn't forget because this episode is brought to you in part by the members of the Nerd On Nation that is powered by Patreon. As a member of the Nerd On Nation, you get fun perks. Like you get boner episodes, you get early access to all of our stuff, really. You really do. You like almost everything that we make, you get early access to it. So check it out.
You get to access it early.
Like before other people do. And at the same time, you get to support us in doing this and getting to be better at doing this and doing this more. So check it out. nerdon.tv/Patreon. And also head on over to our Discord, nerdon.tv/Discord. It's a fun place to meet people and continue the conversation about these episodes. It looks like people are starting to use that and continue the conversations of our episodes. So that's it's a lot of fun. I dig it. So
you got added for not liking mech animes.
They were asking you a question, you asshole.
I responded.
So yes, check out nerdon.tv/Discord. And a huge shout out to Odyssey and Embody Audio. Check them out.
So Josh, what are we talking about today?
Damn.
I was waiting to do this.
Man,
I was waiting to do this.
Fuck, just a second.
Let's
Let's cut right into this blade of an episode.
Okay.
Boom.
I love how I wrote so much copy.
It's not really great, but
you saw the episode, you clicked on it, you put it on your app, and you said
Today.
Keep your friends and hosts close. Keep your enemies closer is a line that has been used in many stories, but not one as cool as this one. Can confirm. Today, we revisit the Daywalker with the toys, lines, and style that we can't get enough of with Guillermo Del Toro's Blade 2. We don't normally do sequels so close together.
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, I think we did this before, right? Where we went through everything. And it's like, we didn't introduce the episode yet.
Yeah.
And then we uh-oh.
And then we read it.
So now we're doing it. So to me, it's kind of funny that I like that this is becoming a trend.
It's becoming a trend. Well, I think we've been doing the same kind of episode outline for years. That sometimes when we mix it up, where it's like our programming is like.
But it latches onto the next part, so when we skip something, we're like, we know what comes after the thing that we skipped too, but we forgot that we skipped something.
Well, it's like Corey is just like, okay, cool, we're talking favorite parts. Okay, now rating. No, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, I know that rating comes later.
It's just funny.
I just forgot we do favorite characters.
But there's also, but we don't normally do sequels like after, but we did Blade last month, and I think soon after we were like, let's do Blade 2.
I don't know. Maybe we should have saved this for an never mind. An anniversary for all three Blades would have been hurt.
I would have been also in the Blade episode we kept referring to Blade something 2. In Blade 2 that we really wanted to talk about as well, but we were like, fuck it, let's just do the episode.
Yeah.
So here we are in March.
We were too excited.
Yeah. We're doing Blade 2, everybody.
Yeah. And so now we're gonna go. We're gonna go into our next two segments, which is the first one deals with the end of the episode because this is a completed film. So that brings us to Guess That Grump. Yeah, so you already did it. So that we're gonna do a Guess That Grump, which is our segment where we're gonna go around the table and guess who's gonna have the lowest score from 1 out of 5, because we do rate it, and whoever has the lowest score, no matter how high the number is, will be the grump for the week. Since This episode is in shambles. You guys listen to us because you like us.
Since we're already,
And in case this is the 1st time listening, thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, you're fucking welcome. This is the best podcast you ever heard. I'm gonna go first and guess that the grunt for this episode is going to be Josh.
Okay. Josh?
Don't give me that face. Don't question my guess.
Joshua?
It's my fucking guess.
I'm going to guess that the grump of this episode will be Corey.
Yeah, I already wrote that.
Ooh.
Son.
Do I round it out? No, it's not gonna be Tom. What am I kidding? Josh, it's gotta be you.
It's gotta be Josh.
Gotta be Josh. I can't vote.
Who will it be?
I can't vote for Tom on Blade 2. Are you kidding me?
You might.
When one of
Exciting. Okay, so with that, are you sitting at home going, you done fucked up? Tom loves Blade 1 more than Blade 2. Clearly, we all know this. Well, then you can speak with your dollars and go for 4 quarters. You could participate in the Guess That Grump poll every episode that we have ratings on. And if you get it right, you get a shout out on the show. You could be that Guess That Grumper, grass-fed, Gatorade, daywalking,
garlic injecting.
injecting.
There's a garlic injector.
What's Norman Reedus' character's name? Spud. Guesser
Scud.
Grumper. Scud. There it is.
Yeah.
Scud, Guesser Grumper.
Unfortunate
Guesser.
name.
You get a shout out on the show. And guess what? Throughout the year, we're going to be keeping track. So if you get it right the most throughout the year, you get to be the, not Grand Poobah. It is the Grand Emperor. God Emperor.
God
Grand
Emperor,
Poober.
Baby.
Grand Poober.
Grand Poober.
The Grand Pooper.
Guys, we speak for entertainment.
I think, you know what? I think we got to give something away. We'll figure that out.
I like that you started looking around the room of like.
I did. Well, I just saw all the cool stuff we had, and I was like, man, we should find something to give away to the
we could always like
God
get
Emperor
something
Grand
made,
Poobah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
like an actual trophy
yes, 100%.
with like a hot dog on it,
or like
something.
a poster or a certificate or something we send
Yeah.
out. Anyway, guess what? The Nerd On Nation did vote, and we do have a winner here.
It's you.
Tom.
It's me.
Josh is the grump for the week.
I was like,
Oh, yeah, I am.
Can't be me. Impossible.
So that gives Josh 3 votes technically.
Oh.
Tom, you have none. I have one. So it'll go you, me, then Josh.
All right.
Now remember, you can be a grump even with like a 4.976,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody else is 5s.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
4.9.
we have.
we shouldn't. We should not. So that's that. We've all written our scores down to keep it all copacetic for your guesses to actually mean something. So there we have it. That's that.
So
That moves us on
our
to our
next segment.
2 segments.
Well, no.
3 segments.
No.
4
The
segments.
first one segment, because we're going to do a complete spoiler
Yeah.
of this last segment, and which is our initial reactions and our first impressions.
I'll go first.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I saw this in theaters with my papa. Shout out to Jolie. Who was a big Wesley Snipes fan. Showed me things like The First Blade, Demolition Man, Tu Wong Fu, all those kind of things. And so with that, I remember going to Pacific Theaters at
Shout out.
at the mall in
And
my hometown.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I know. It
Oh.
hurts, but we'll keep them alive here today. So at the Northgate Mall in Northern California, I went to go see Blade 2. And this was the coolest fucking thing I had seen since The Matrix. I had a blast. And I rewatched it for this episode. And to be fair, I hadn't watched Blade 2 in probably 15 years. So going back on this, I was fully prepared. No shade, because, you know, Blade 1 did what it could with what the graphics were at the time. And I was fully expecting to go back in and being like ready for some cheesy graphics. But again, it was what, 2003, 2002?
2002.
Every time you talk about
2002.
it, yeah. You always bring up a date, and I'm like, oh, no.
Well, you make the notes, so I wasn't sure, you know, you could recall. But
I have a life.
so I was like, you know, 2002, that's almost 20 years old. Graphics probably aren't going to
It
hold
is
up.
20 years old.
Yeah, at this point. So there you go.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's 20 years old, 20th
table is
anniversary.
broken.
So with that, I was like fully prepared, but none of the graphics pulled me out of any of it. The artistic choices for not only the color temperature, but shots and everything like that, character design. I've this is great. This is the perfect follow-up to what Blade 1 was. It's everything you want. They went, oh, did you enjoy your appetizer?
It was a perfect yes
meal.
and.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's more.
You're like, I thought this salad was my meal. Like, no, we got turkey legs, we got gravy, we got mashed potatoes, we got biscuits, we got corn, we got green bean
We got
casserole.
blood dressing.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, damn, I didn't know I needed all this, but this is the perfect follow-up. So, yeah,
Josh,
I
hit
like
me.
the movie.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember specifically. One thing I do remember specifically about kind of the release of this movie is like the early to mid 2000s vampire movies were cool. We had like Underworld. Underworld was after this, but it was like, you know, you're starting to
Werewolves
get
and
the
vampires.
Yeah, you're starting to get the like, ooh,
Dracula
like,
2000.
Helsing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Like dumb but good. Like vampire, like there's techno music, and I'm sure like Blade is like the forefather.
All studios went, what if we made The Matrix but with monsters?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but one vampire movie in particular that, you know, I would say is nice pairing, because you were saying there were kind of some dumb vampire
Interview
movies.
with a Vampire.
I was going to say 30 Days a Night, which is a great
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
damn.
30 Days a
Yeah.
Night is also good. Also, Dracula.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean, but like these specific kinds of
Yes.
like vampire movies, like I
Leather
loved
and Blood.
Interview. Yeah, thank you. There it is.
Yeah.
Leather and Blood. Sounds like a really cheesy love song.
Or
Anyway.
a really great erotica.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't specifically remember like when I first saw it, but I do remember just loving it. And when we did the Blade episode last month, I watched Blade, and it's like Cheez-Its. You can't just have one. It was like, I gotta watch the whole trilogy now. And so I just
Oh.
moved on to, yes, I watched the third one. Like,
Don't yuck his yum.
like it's like I went, ooh, these Cheez-Its are good. Now I'm gonna have cheese nips. Like,
that's all I meant. It's just it's a harsh left at one point.
yeah.
Not yucking anyone's yum.
Including like somebody who's in the third one, who's in the second one, but is a different character. Anyway. Yeah, so I love this movie, and I don't want to repeat too much. There's just like there's a lot going on, and I love Guillermo Del Toro, and yeah, there's a lot of spoilers that I just want to. Then there's
No
that.
You also going into the next segment. Spoilers, man.
Yeah, we've been jumping around, you and I, Josh, on this episode. We've been a little chaotic. Lawful chaotic. Chaotic lawful, is that
Okay,
what it
good.
is? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that builds your backstory, because you're like, I'm this great crusader, and I have this repentant story because
Yeah.
I jumped
D&D.
the segment.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's your, you know how
Hell
you build
yeah.
like character flaws into your D&D character?
Yeah.
Yours and I's are both, we chose, you chose jump segments too? Yeah, all right, cool.
yeah.
Go into battle. I was like, just go into a town, meet a person, roll for initiative. Like,
Yeah.
no.
No, hold on. Tom?
For me,
Blade 2.
I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I know.
This movie, yo, motherfuckers out there, make more movies like this. This is not there's not much to if you're looking at graphics, you're looking fuck you.
I knew
there's-
how Tom felt when he asked me, because I said, so I love a good bad movie, and he looked at me like flabbergasted. You think this is a good bad
for
movie?
Blade?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Blade, and I could kind of like imagine how he felt about Blade 2.
Yes.
So
Oh, I mean, so the thing is, okay, you could say lines are cheesy, whatever, is part of its time, whatever. But like, just the kind of the cool thing that you get with sequels that don't really happen, that like in the 90s and the 80s, sequels were just terrible. Like there was like, it's never as good as the original. And then somewhere along the line, someone said, but what if we just tell the story that we should have told in the first place? But since we got the origin out of the way, we could just go right into it.
Yeah.
we can do whatever we want.
And I think this does that in such a great way, where it explores more of the vampire world in a different way. In the first film, you know, you had like the religion and the clandestine, and then also like the caste system of what the vampire world is. Here, you got to see more of that world, and just, you know, from the opening sequence to the conflict, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro knows how to create monsters.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about, they're visually cool looking or anything. I'm talking about, this is a monster that you give a shit about. This is a monster that you understand. This is a monster that if you're not supposed to understand, there's a reason for that. And it's just like, because to him, monsters are real.
Yeah.
And it's lovely and it's beautiful. And it's like, it's how, in a weird way, it's like the opposite. Or I guess like it's on the other side of the coin of Hayao Miyazaki of like, everything has a spirit. And then here, monsters have thoughts and
especially with
feelings.
vampires because they were once human.
Yeah. And also
one
they
thing they
could
lost.
they could be tragic. And you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to care about you, but then you do, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's
I'm feeling feelings.
It's great.
Yeah.
The ensemble is phenomenal, except a few things, but it's great.
Excited to hear about this.
I love this movie. This movie is one of the greater superhero comic book movie sequels of all time. Go watch it.
I know
It might
that
be one of the best comic book movies of all time.
Yeah, it's better than
Not just sequel.
It's to me, it's better in terms of like. Also, just in terms of conflict and how they build like tension, but also how they like just progress to the story of like, oh, I'm understanding. I'm
I
learning.
know that
more.
everybody like on the interweb says this is the best of the Blade movies. So
To me, this is better than this is in the top 20% of all comic book movies, I'd say.
Yeah.
That being said, we'll move on to the next two segments, which is going to be our brief synopsis and our production. And the brief synopsis will be given to you by myself. So let's get started with it. And exploding from the pages of Marvel Comics comes the thrilling follow-up of the blockbuster Blade. Half man, half vampire, and consumed by a desire to avenge the curse of his birth and save the human race from a blood-drenched Armageddon. In this newest action-packed adventure, Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, is forced to team up with the very vampires he hates in order to overcome a new type of monster which threatens to eradicate both races.
Yeah, there you go.
damn.
Production distributed by New Line Cinema,
Yeah.
known for Shazam,
Shazam!
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Rush Hour 2. So sequels.
They did
Except
math,
for Shazam,
right?
you got all sequels there. Well done. Directors, Guillermo Del Toro, known for Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, and Pacific Rim. Producers, Peter Frankfurt, known for Scrooged, nice, Lethal Weapon 2, and Boys. Wesley Snipes is one of the producers as well, known for The Big Hit, The Recall, and Armed Response. Patrick Palmer, known for Moonstruck, Hellboy, and Justice for All. Writers, David S. Goyer, known for Man of Steel, Dark City, and Terminator, Dark Fate. Based on Blade, written by Marv Wolfman, is that one name?
Marv Wolfman
And Gene Colan. Cast, Wesley Snipes, known for Demolition Man, White Men Can't Jump, and New Jack City. Chris Christopherson, known for music, but also Payback, The Jacket, and Fast Food Nation. Ron Perlman, known for Hellboy, Monster Hunter, Transformers, Power of the Primes. Lenore Varela, Odd Thomas, Gold 2, Living the Dream, and Where God Left His Shoes. Norman Reedus, known for The Walking Dead. There's your boy. The Boondock Saints.
There's your boy.
Yes. Iron Man, Rise of Technovore.
You know who he plays in that?
In Iron Man?
Yeah, Rise of Technovore.
No.
He plays Punisher.
Nice.
I
That'd be good, actually. And Luke Goss, known for Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, Tekken, and One Night with the King. Release date was March 22nd, 2002. The runtime is 117 minutes. Budget was $54 million with a gross of $155 million. Rotten Tomato score is 57 from critics with 151 reviews and 68% from audience with 250,000 plus ratings.
Damn.
Y'all are so wrong. Y'all are so fucking wrong
Yeah.
for that. So now we move into complete spoilers of everything. If you haven't watched the movie, please go watch that. It is out. Also, it's been out for a while, so it's spoilers, whatever.
Yeah.
It's 20 years. 20
I
years.
just bought it.
Yeah.
Did we we had to have planned this, right? Like
Yeah.
it's 20 years this month.
20-year anniversry.
Yeah.
So now
We'll pitch it as such in our titles.
20th anniversary. So yeah, we'll go our favorite parts, favorite characters, our qualms, and finally our rating.
You suggested this episode, so
Favorite part.
I don't want to take yours, so I think you should start.
I have so many. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So
You should just talk for the next 20 minutes.
Okay. So one of my favorite parts. You thought the first one was quotable. This one's so quotable. In the sewage system with all the fucking the new vampires coming out, and he says, "Y'all must not know who you are fucking with," and he lights the fucking
See,
bomb.
I'm glad he went because that was what I was going to say.
It's such a. It's like no, you are fucking. Oh,
you are fucking with.
It is so good. And he hits that bomb and just lights everything up, and it's just like, it's like, but it's such a good, like, cool, like, the bomb is cool, the tension is cool. Like,
you also get the line, "Some of us can't see in the dark, you fucking nipplehead."
But like, Chris Christopherson. But like the technology stuff is cool. So like you get like the arm blade that shoots silver nitrate and the garlic, and then you get the head bomb thing, and then you get like there's so many cool things in here. I was just like, oh my god, they just increased everything. Scud lights, and then fucking the sunlight.
I love when sequels get more money because they're like, ooh, we can do this, we can do this.
Corey, go ahead.
That's my favorite part. Is the part where he meets what's their name?
Pack.
The Blood Pack, and he's talking to Ron Perlman's character. And
Reinhardt.
Like, I know how it is. You guys have been trained to hunt me, and now I'm finally here. Whew, so exciting. And then he puts the stake to his chest, and he goes, "Go ahead, do it."
Oh, you need permission?
And then you see how fucking fast he is, and then puts the bomb on the back of his neck. I love it. And he goes, that's the line. He goes, if I so much as think that you're looking at me the wrong way.
Whew. And I've been using that a lot. Yeah. And everyone here on the hosts have been all very patient and understanding that I've been saying. Every time I pull a good Yu-Gi-Oh card out, just,
yeah.
Oh, you dead.
Yeah.
You dead.
So good.
Josh?
The amount of excitement that he has is...
Guys, this movie.
This is how I felt for 7 Psychopaths.
So that means please lower your rating.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry. Just got distracted.
I just got distracted. I love the last act of like taking place in like a pool of blood. Like the set pieces, really, just in general, it just has like the fight in front of the floodlights, like this wall of floodlights. I'm just like, well, yeah, of course. Like that's what you do. This kind of movie is so badass.
CG in those scenes.
Yeah.
People shit on it online, but I think it works for this. It's ridiculous. I mean, that the opening sequence. I mean, that's the greatest way to like light a CGI thing 20 years ago. Is like, let's put a shit ton of backlight, so we don't have to put details in.
Yes, I mean this. I guess to be specific is I do like how this opens in a sense of you don't get to see a full Reaper in his full craziness, like his jaw opening, but you get to see our lead villain coming in,
Nomax,
and like establishing, like in the first one, you're like, oh, vampires, they're bad, and then his like hatred of vampires, you're vampires. Like, oh shit, there's worse. There's worse than vampires.
Which I will say,
vampires think they got him in that room
in the blood.
This is a good bad scenario. Good news bad news for you, good news for us. Like,
I did like part of Blade Trinity. I did love their marketing of like first he fought their god, then their demons. I'm like, yeah, this is a very good version of that. Where it's like this is the demons, and it's like now they'll fight their first, but then he fights Dracula. But like it's like I love that there was this another alpha predator that's like destroying what the status quo of the vampire. Like the whole setup of the idea of like here is a vampire, a half breed vampire who's killing vampires, and then they need his help in order to stop an even worse vampire. And like again, that whole opening sequence where you think Nomax like this sick sap, you're like, oh, and he goes to a blood bank, and you're like, oh no, this is where the vampires are.
Oh no, it's a guy. He's gonna get hurt.
It does give me the idea of like blood banks are just owned by vampires, baby.
Yeah.
But like it's just but also later on seeing like a Reaper's mouth open up, and again it's Guillermo Del Toro, and it's like like the whole setup of how it goes on, and then you get the blood pack, and they need him, and then
what am I thinking of? What insect is it?
That opens their mouth like that?
Yeah. It's like based off of.
I know for a fact snakes break their jaws in order to eat.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it reminds me of snakes a little bit in terms of like how they. It was very interesting having a snake at one point. I had a ball python to watch her eat. It was like, whoa. But like another thing, because I was thinking about the last act of the Pool of Blood is fucking Reinhardt getting cut in half. It's like one of those scenes like. I know it happens in another movie where it's just like a slow realization of like, oh,
Resident Evil.
Is it
cut in half?
Yeah, maybe
it's sliced up all. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like, oh, damn, and so quickly too. Like just like
it's badass.
It's just oh man. I mean,
But the cool thing is, like, also it wasn't like like a lot of like slinging the sword and all that stuff. It was just like this power of strength battle. It's like catching the sword and then flipping it, and then it's almost like very samurai-esque.
Yeah.
And I thought, to your point, it's just very good. And also, it's a nice like this film progresses so much from the last one because like in the first one, like. All of Blade's blood gets drained, and then like he has to, drink someone else's blood in order to like revive himself. Now he gets put in a pool of blood, so like now you get this full revival moment. You're like, oh yeah, he's at full power.
I also like with this movie the way that they subverted any sort of expectation that Scud was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually was like. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. That sucks. I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. You're like,
I
oh, man.
love that.
Fixing up the car. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh, and then he turns and you're like, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed cool.
Did seem cool.
But also, I did like that they like kind of introduced this like Blade knows. Blade knows that he's been familiar with this entire time. It's like, I've been keeping my eye on you. And then I was like,
and by the way,
that's a real bomb.
It's not a dud.
The explosion. Just like. So much guts.
That's why going back and watching it, knowing that when Chris Christopherson beats the shit out of him for the first time, when he's just like gonna grab a gun and he's like, no, those are my, and he fucking hits Scud. You're like a little piece of you knowing the ending goes, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fucking, yes.
Corey, favorite parts?
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say something about the blood scene, the bloodbath scene. I really like the tension they built with that whole scene. I thought they did a really great job of like, he's gonna make it in eventually because the set piece is so fucking huge, but the whole time you're like, it's taking so long. Get him in the pool, so that when he finally comes out, you're like, oh shit, it's happening.
When you watch a movie and you're like, oh, you just fucked with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
You just
it's wonderful. One of my absolute favorite parts is actually the opening chase scene with Blade, where he's chasing down the two vampires.
He's got the little small blades.
Yeah. And with the bicycle helmet and the bike tires and stuff like that. Jumping out the window, the way it's shot with the CG.
What is he doing?
Huh?
He's looking for Whistler.
Oh yeah, looking for Whistler, man. And the full circle moment where the ending scene.
At the very end,
you didn't think I forgot about you.
Bam.
Wonderful payoff for that.
I do like that right after that point where he gets Whistler out and, he's like, I was like, I put you in this. It's like, if you're not, changed by tomorrow morning, I'll kill you. And then he's like, how long have I been gone? He's like, too long.
Yeah.
Like years. He's like days, months, weeks. And he's
years.
like, too long. And it's like,
oh
shit.
That was a big revelation too when they revealed that. I remember the first time when he said years. And I was like, oh shit. So it's been like real time since 1998. Like he's probably been gone for 5 years or whatever it is.
Wow.
I can do math. 4 years.
Yeah.
3. I was gonna let it go. Just like I'm not gonna correct him.
Whatever.
It's fine.
I'm watching this in 2022. Who knows? Who knows how long he's been gone?
What a nostalgia trip this was, like watching it, because like I remember popping it in. I streamed it. I didn't pop it. I popped it into a search bar. But seeing AOL Time Warner come up, I was like, oh, y'all remember AOL?
Y'all remember that?
Y'all remember that? But also Oakley sunglasses. Like, I don't know for you all, but for me.
Oh, Oakleys are huge.
Like, you were cool if you had some Oakleys.
We lived 3 hours from Tahoe. Yeah, we had Oakleys.
If you look, for those who listen who are from Sacramento, the oil rigs. The oil rigs were the style. Those were the big ones, the like snowboarding ones.
Yeah.
They had like a grid kind of thing going on.
For me, it was because of baseball. Like a lot of baseball players wore those like big ones. So I had a pair. I thought I was cool. But also to learn that Morbius was supposed to be one of the villains. And they're like, no, we're going to save that for later.
Oh, at the end of the first movie.
What was the cool trivia that you ended up finding out about this movie?
That Guillermo Del Toro hates David S. Goyer's writing. Dialogue.
Not about that.
That was the trivia I found out. He was like, he explains too much.
What about some stained glass?
What?
What about some stained glass?
I don't know. I might not have seen that
Doesn't
trivia.
it look like someone? You texted us.
Oh.
God damn it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Yeah, the bit of trivia I learned about was that the stained glass is very purposefully looks like his medallion, and that Guillermo del Toro wanted to do a Doctor Strange movie. And this was obviously before Iron Man and all that kind of stuff. But it got shut down. And I forget who he wanted to write it.
Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman to write it. So Neil Gaiman written, Guillermo del Toro directed Doctor Strange movie. Almost happened. almost.
Fucking robbed.
And it didn't. And I was so crushed by this that I've clearly blacked it out. Totally
I actually forgot because of the same. I was like, no, I don't want to expect too
I don't want to live in
much.
a world where that almost happened and didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was sad. That was sad.
That was a sad. That was a sad.
And I just went, fuck, and moved on.
I did talking about that scene, I did really like that first fight between Nomak and Blade.
Yeah.
There's something so for me, I love a villain or like enemy types in these kind of like action-packed stories where the main character who's super powerful has trouble with just fighting one, and now there's dozens of them. So they could take down one, but they couldn't take down 3 or 4.
Yeah.
This happens again with Guillermo Del Toro and Hellboy, with the Samael dog of hell. And I love that Nomak, he's the Alpha Reaper, he's got, he's the host strain, whatever, and all these other ones are kind of weaker, but they're all still stronger than a normal vampire, even though they're all like walking around like ghouls. You have the Blood Pack, who is literally trained to kill Blade, and they're all struggling to fight just one. And I think that's really fun and cool. But seeing that fight between them at first, like their strength is like equal.
Yeah.
Like they're literally just, again, 2 sides of the same coin. And the only weakness, though, however, Nomak has, we end up finding out, is the sunlight. Because he has the blades and he shoots them in there, and he like you see like the goobly gobbly like garlic and like silver go to his head, and it hurts him, but he doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
That being said, I just loved all the fight sequences. Like the first fight between Blade and Nyssa is so entertaining because like she's so nimble and she just feels like
it's very quick.
It's very quick.
It's
ninja.
Yeah, it was.
And then like when he blocks first with the sheathed sword,
he does this thing where he gets her blade between his legs, or it's actually the other guy, but he gets the blade between his legs and then he turns and then knees them in the face. You're like,
cool
nice,
as fuck.
so good, and
nice.
And like it's such a fast-paced fight, but also like it shows the different levels of like it just shows a variety. So it's not always just a brawl, right? It's not just spear moding and tackling someone into a box, but it's like, okay, this this is the more precision surgical like knife fighting, and then like the Blood Pack. One guy's got the hammer, another guy's got the katana, another guy's got the shotgun.
Oh, that guy turning was fucked.
Yeah, so Chupa, right?
Yeah.
Chupa, I believe, turned. I just loved that whole sequence at the club.
Yeah.
Where the first mission together with Blade and the Blood Pack, and then they're like, oh, I bet I could get him right now. And then like, so he aims his gun, so Reinhardt aims his gun at Blade, and then it's like, hey,
laser pointer.
And then you see Blade has his gun under his arm and points it, at him, and it's just like
that smile too. Snipes has just.
Yeah,
I know.
It's so good. It's so good. But also, just when Chupa's alone and he gets attacked by that first Reaper, it's like it feels a little horror-esque.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say I like that sequence because they establish just how messed up the Reapers are. Just like, because right now we just know it's Nomak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the main.
But you're kind of like, oh, he's stronger. Wow, he's got more hunger. Okay. But this really shows you like, oh, shit, this big dude is having a hard time with this guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit.
I mean, he doesn't have a hard time. He loses.
Yeah.
We just say he loses. He loses.
Yeah. he loses.
Yeah.
But then the autopsy of the Reaper, I was just like, Guillermo Del Toro just was like, went to town.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite movies, The Thing. Yeah. So we're gonna do that.
Oh yeah, baby.
And but then you end up learning like how they're like skeletons around their heart.
Just, yeah.
They crack that shit open and it's still alive. And they're like, here's that venom. It's like it's a great exposition scene without it being exposition.
Yeah, the adaptation or the evolution that the body went through to, I mean, yeah, technically they're a vampire, but they're a new form, and like all the weaknesses that a vampire might have, this body has been built to be better.
It's almost
stronger.
like it's a foil of Blade himself, which every weakness they have, it's been better and stronger. He doesn't have it. All their power, none of their weaknesses.
I mean, it's also just to that point of the autopsy, like chopping his head, but his eyes still blinking. I was like, ugh.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, dude, it's disturbing. You think about it because he's turning, he's like, and then he slices him, and then he's like, his eyes are still blinking. You're like, he's still alive. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I did like though how I believe.
Oh, I just got the
heebie-jeebies. I believe Donnie Yen's character like stabs one and just like rips it out. He just jumps off the wall.
Yeah.
Like,
Fight choreographer for that.
Yeah.
The movie.
Donnie Yen was?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love that. Also, I love everything about Demaskinos. I loved like this
his skin.
His blue skin.
Oh.
I loved like this very ancient vampire. Like I loved in Blade 1 where it was like, oh yes, in the high rises of New York, like there lives the vampires amongst us and they will wear suits. But also did like that it's like we're an older order.
Yeah.
And we have these ancient stone like tombs that we live out of, but then have high technology inside of it. It felt, you know what that feels like? That feels like what Apocalypse should have been like in all the X-Men
Yeah.
movies. It's like, yes, it's ancient pyramid shit, but there's alien technology in that shit. So you're just like, I'm getting both. It's kind of like you're in the Indiana Jones ride.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I know this is supposed to look ancient, but there's a lot of technology going here, which is cool and allows you to think like, we are out of our league. This person's been older than us, and they have better technology than us. But also, I forget his name, but his little lackey boy, who's just like Mr. Exposition. He's like, we tried a new strain.
He looked like
yeah.
he looked like the discount rack version of Jude Law.
his familiar, right?
He looked really, really familiar.
Yeah, I think this
What's
is
his name?
Yeah, I think this is him. His name in the film is Coonan.
Yeah.
Coonan.
He's like his like
he's a familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the human guy that does all the things in the outside, but he's like, he's like, oh, this is a Reaper strain. We created it. We thought we could try to beat you and all that stuff, but instead it's actually killing us and it's infected. And since it's our problem, now you got to fix it. But also, I just love how
But also, we're making more.
Yeah, I love how Demaskinos and Nissa's story. It's actually very reminiscent of Underworld, right? Of the favored prophetical, female child, and then the old wrinkly sack of old vampire man who's
I
like,
haven't seen Underworld.
Sounds like an episode.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Anna Vert. No, I'm just kidding. We won't.
3. Yes. Oh, I
No, aren't there like 4 or 5?
There's a lot. There's like at least 6, I think.
But Van Helsing. Speaking, no.
But no. Also, I did like a little bit of the upgrade of Blade's costume. He's got the red on the inside now. There's a little bit more red accents to him, so it's not just all in black. A little bit more slimmed down, so it's like, okay, yeah, this guy feels like he can actually fight very quickly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I just like highlighted the whole movie.
Yeah, I was gonna like one more thing before I just want to call the focus on attention. Thank you to like the sound design. I love movies like this because sound effects are just so in your face, like bone crunches and like punches are so exaggerated, but you're like, I'm here for it. I don't care. I love this.
That goes along with the end fight where they're like slamming each other into the ground and the ground's crackling around. Like, look, that's what I've been wanting. Like as a child, I wanted it. As an adult, I still want that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that. You don't get
like when he punches, he doesn't just break one bone, he breaks all the bones.
What MCU movie have we seen where like someone gets slammed to the ground and the ground stays the same? Or they slam against the wall and the ground and the wall stays the same. Like you barely got any of that. And even when Thanos is fighting like Hulk, you're just
the only time you guys when Hulk throws Loki around.
Yeah,
the ground gets
destroyed, and that's it. But like there's something very nice about it because it's like you're using the environment to help you tell the story of how impactful this is versus just having people fly off screen.
Yeah,
right. Flying off screen.
It's a little like Matrix, where you see them like destroying columns with punches and stuff like that.
And also like shout out to the Corridor crew. They were talking about the Snyder Cut and how like it's important to see the impact. Like seeing people bounce against a wall is fine, but seeing them hit the ground again, they're like, oh, that really hurt. So seeing like Blade and Nomak toss each other around and like punching through the metal of things, you're like, this is their fight, not our fight. And I think to me that adds a level of like, I don't know, it just to me it just helps the world build better versus like, well, this is just normal people fighting. Yeah. And there is something different when you see like a movie like Mortal Kombat. Like these are supposed to be normal people, but then we get to see superpowered people. It's like, yeah, our world is paper to them. Like Terminator 2, when the T-1000 and 101 are fighting for the first time, or 800 are fighting for the first time, and they're like smashing through the bathroom stalls. I'm like, this is how it should feel like, because there's
no limits to their destruction.
We shouldn't be afraid of people who have the same trouble breaking the same stuff as us. It's like, oh, it's just a more capable fighter. But it's like when they're like jumping off columns and like making huge dives towards each other, like, oh no, I ain't gonna fight this.
No.
So like,
I'm out. This is not my movie.
I love that last fight scene, and also it's like it's very like emotional because now we know everything that's happening in the story. We know that Nomak is Demaskinos' son.
Yep.
and he was turned
Kinda
into a
heartbreaking.
monster. It is, and
His death.
His dad.
Guillermo, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just so good with that shit. I'm just like, because you feel bad for him. He's like he's a victim to this, and it's like he didn't choose this life, but now he's stuck being this like pariah, and it's like it's so sad. And then like Nissa, and it's like so you have the sibling shit going on, but then Blade's just like, I get it, but also you have to die.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and so like when Nomak finally dies, it's like it's sad, and he's like, and he tells him like, "Is the sunlight? It's beautiful and all that stuff." Like, I was just like, it's good. And then Nissa,
Yeah.
so good, so good.
Yep.
All right, so favorite characters. Well, let's see. You had some more. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean I can keep going. I mean, I just want to shout out again. I did on the first Blade. The disintegration effect does not get old here at all. It's
No,
only
in fact,
improved.
it got a little bit better.
It's such a cool effect, and it's so satisfying to see like when someone's hit with that silver and then just.
And you see the little ember too.
Yeah.
Right.
So good. I just wanted to shout that out because in that opening chase scene, it happens a couple times, and Dana and I watching, we're like, oh, yes, it's still here. Thank God it's still here. Because I remember her watching the first one and being like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I was like, yes, get ready for
You're
that.
right. You're right. It is.
Get ready for that. But also Whistler
Oh, Whistler.
coming back, baby. The way they did it is great too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did like. Also, again, they do not take away from him too. He's like, they patched me all up, made me a vampire, didn't even fix my leg, and I'm like,
Yep.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Funny.
You're right. Favorite characters?
Favorite characters. Let's do two. That's not Blade.
Two that's not Blade.
Oh.
Yeah, nice.
Actually,
nice change.
Actually, my
All right.
Because it's the titular character.
Then go ahead.
Reinhardt.
Uh-huh.
He's just. It's Ron Perlman, and he comes with full Perlman. He's just.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's got his little weird hair thing
That goes all the way around the back.
It's like the board. I don't know.
It's like a chin strap, but his head.
Yeah, yeah. And Nomak. I like our villain here. I think he's got layers, and I appreciate
layers.
Yeah, exactly. When I about to say that, I was like, yeah, that is what I'm referring to. No, I enjoyed his story and enjoyed how it followed, and you felt sympathy. You felt a little bit of sympathy for him.
It's
You're
like
oh,
that
man.
song by the Rolling Stones, "Sympathy for the Devil."
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Woo-hoo.
I'm glad that you flourished through it. Corey, your favorite characters?
Blade. From Blade 1. No, the flashbacks. No,
His mom in the exposition
Yeah.
credit sequence.
no, it's I really like Reinhardt as well, but Whistler and Reinhardt. I think Chris Christopherson nails this role, and to bring him back was such a smart move.
I feel bad because you have Whistler, right? He is part of the Marvel universe and comic books. I just feel bad that we've had one Whistler and it's been so good, and it's like, that's Whistler.
Yeah.
And then we've had many people play Stick, who's Daredevil's guy. And it's like,
No,
who
not
who
the same.
cares? And it's like,
Yeah.
Whistler. That Whistler it's going to be hard. I'm sure they're going to do fine with it. Marshall.
Stephen Lang.
Is that who it is?
I don't know.
Oh, I was like, there you go. With the remake, it's going to be hard to live up to. Both those
It's
characters.
going to be Christopher Waltz.
Christoph.
Waltz. So my favorite characters, Nomak number 1, Nissa number 2.
All right.
Nomak is look. Y'all I'm just upset that everyone never talks about like, oh, one of the best villains in comic book movies. And it's like, what the fuck? Why is he never in the conversation? Nomak is such a good Luke Goss.
I think
is such a good villain.
He's also the
actor.
villain in
In
Golden Army.
Hellboy 2. And you care about him. And and you feel so bad when he dies because he makes you like, he's just like, I was doing the right thing, wasn't I? And no one will ever love us. And you're like, oh God. And you're just like, it's Luke Goss, so fucking good.
I thought you meant in Golden Army. I was like, he was not doing the right thing in Golden Army. But yes.
Argument would say that he
Okay. I didn't think we were going to get into this, but yeah, right.
But it's just like, he's Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
It's like, I care about the nature. When did that become a bad thing?
Yeah.
It's like, I just kill everyone about it, but leave all the
The
other
way you
creatures-
did it.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah, but like but that's the thing where it's like him. I just feel he's such a good tragic villain.
Yeah.
And Luke Goss, I think, just brings that like. There's a little bit of like, oh,
weight.
He looks intense, but then when his emotion comes in his heart, you're just like,
Like when he's kind of scared when you first meet him. He's a little like acting nervous, you know?
I mean,
You feel that.
Josh.
Well, I was you were talking about like why does it never come up? In conversation, I think there's blinders. I think that are built around like the Blade movies in a sense.
They don't count.
Like they don't count.
Pre-MCU.
Yeah, and so it's interesting to revisit.
But then you got
revisit them.
And then I mean that's the thing where like hopefully with in this show a lot of our listeners are starting to like expand their horizons because it's like everyone talks about Clockwork Orange. It's like, oh, that's a good villain. It's like, yeah, and The Shining, right? And there's been other movies before the MCU and the DCEU, so there are great antagonists and great performances. Fucking John Doe, right? Like from Seven.
Oh yeah.
Like great characters. Like these are great characters, and everyone's like, oh, but Killmonger and Joker though. It's like, oh my god, guys, there's something more than just these movies. But anyways, Nissa.
But Heath Ledger's Joker though, which
I was also gonna say like
Heath Ledger's
Avatar.
Joker was.
Like Avatar: Last Airbender, we've got good villains there too. Anyway,
but Nissa just so good, so good. Anyways, okay, so now we go into qualms. Corey, you want to go first?
Me? Okay, yeah. I'm so sorry, Tom.
Okay, you hate Nissa.
It's not that I hate Nissa. I don't. For me, I cared so much about everyone else that her storyline kind of fell to the side. She didn't do as much as I was hoping she would. And so therefore the payoff at the end between her and Blade, I didn't feel was earned the same way. And I think it was kind of sidelined their story for other things, which are important to the plot, important to the story, and important to build up the villain for that tragic turn to happen. But still keeping that like sentimental. And I never felt there was almost a better relationship between Karen and Blade before, right? Yeah, there definitely was. And I almost felt like there was a better connection between Blade and Reinhardt. Like they had this weird relation. Like I felt more for their relationship than anything or
actually
could have been a chemistry.
I wrote this down as well, but I didn't want to commit to it because all I could say was Nissa was a bit meh. So I was like,
it just kind of fell by the wayside. I mean, barring her initial introduction, which is badass as shit, it just felt like something that was supposed to be included was bigger in the original script, and the elements are still there for it, but didn't come together the way they were meant to for me. That is my only qualm.
Right. Josh?
I mean, I had that, but I mean, it was kind of like, okay. I mean, this is a forced qualm. I don't really hold it against the
Luke Skywalker taught you how to do this qualm?
Yeah. This is the qualm. I am one with
Corey
the qualms.
Died on
the
the
qualms
inside.
are one with me.
It's on my brain.
No, I sometimes the CGI kind of threw me out. It's no Matrix Reloaded, but there are sometimes you're like, oh, cool, we're in a video game cutscene now. Dope. But again, this is it's a forced qualm. It's like this is 2002, bro. This is they don't have like fucking de-aging like they have now, or like being able to do those kinds of things and be seamless. Like it's one of those.
Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings the year before, but
yeah, you're right.
They invented technology for that. You know what I mean? They invented it.
So I mean, it's one of those like when I'd say that, but I'm like, I can't really. It's hard for me to hold it against it. Like I'm like, it doesn't take away from it in a sense.
Yeah.
So
Jesus, what am I trying to say? You were talking about Lord of the Rings that came out 2 years before. It looks better in terms of CGI.
A year before.
They also had a little bit more money.
Yeah.
They also had a little bit more money.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
That's what I'm saying. They invented technology and had the budget for it.
That's for me when CGI comes into the conversation, at least for myself, is it's hard because productions can't always decide like what they can what they can do. Like if they don't have the money, well, I guess I could, because then it'd be like, well, then film differently so you can do the things that you can with I don't know. It's hard for me to hold CGI. Yeah. I mean, it's just like what we talked about in Blade, like some of the CGI there, it's like, well, it's 1998.
Yeah.
You know. For me, the whole thing about CGI, or if it starts taking me out, is when I see a version of it better in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So
I get that.
Biggest one for me that irritates me the most is probably in Captain America Civil War. So you see all the fight scenes, you see the magic, you see Vision, you see all these different cool things. And the thing that throws me out the most is like when Iron Man and Captain America meet at the airport. and you just see his
suit
floating head, and I'm just like, oh, why? You're like, you had so much other things before. And it's not like you ran out of budget. I promise you, because there's a whole third act we have to go through. Here, I see what you mean by like, it starts being like, these are cartoons bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Again, no Matrix
Oh, yeah, no.
Reloaded, which is only within a couple of years of this movie. But anyway.
But like, I mean, it kind of does come into when, you know, like when Nissa and the other guy come into at first, and it's like, these are not people bouncing up on these catwalks.
Yeah, but otherwise, I don't have any. That's the only thing that comes up for me.
If I have any qualms, you know, I almost had a qualm, but I don't. I would say what my almost qualm was that I thought that Blade doesn't have any development in this film, because in the first one, it's a lot of him finding closure of his mother, and then realizing like there is such thing as a cure for the vampire, you know, disease. And here I was like, oh, is there not going to be like? I was thinking about it because I think a big criticism for it's like there's no development for the Blade character. Like there is. He ends up actually developing relationships with vampires.
Yeah,
and I think there's something important with that. And also you see him expand his circle of humans to an extent, because someone could argue that like he is, you know, have a death grip on just having Whistler around, so he needs to learn how to make relationships with other people. And you see that happen. So it's like, you know, to Corey's point, maybe it doesn't hit the mark, but at least it's written in there that it's supposed to happen.
yeah.
So, with
That's
that,
it.
yeah,
I think you're first.
I'm first.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a 4. No, it's a 5. It's a straight 5 for me. There are things that make it like, could there be better? Sure, but the pure enjoyment value of it. I'll be honest, I haven't watched this movie in like a month. And I'm like, I remember everything so vividly.
Yeah.
I've watched this movie so many times.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just put it on.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
I always, when I prep for episodes, I always watch it again. But I usually watch it a second time in more of like kind of a skimmy way of like, you know, when you are preparing for a test where you're like, okay, yeah, no, I remember that topic. Yeah, I remember what mitochondria is. Yeah, no, I remember. Okay, cool. We're good. But it was so funny to do the second time around for this one. I was like, no, I remember everything.
Yeah, and to me, that's the thing where like there's so many iconic moments that happen in here and so many cool aspects. I'm just like, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have enough time to watch this movie. I was like, but do I need to watch it again? I was like, I've watched it so many times.
How long
of course,
117 minutes.
117 minutes. Yeah, almost 2 hours.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, it feels like an hour and 30.
Yeah.
And like you're again, it's just so
Like the
good.
bar scene, the club scene, I think is like 20 something minutes or more. And you're like, I was
Flies
like,
by.
it flies by. You're like, wow, this is.
It moves.
Yeah,
it
it
moves.
moves.
I think it moves so well. Corey's next.
I'm next. Yeah, because Josh has 3 with the Nerd on Nation guess. It is a 4.7.
4.7
Yeah, baby.
for Corey.
I love this movie. I think this is a great film. I think this is, to Tom's point, one of the top comic book films made to date. Definitely in the top 10 for me. It's so fun, and Blade's just so effortlessly cool, like an effortlessly cool hero.
It's Shaft with a vampire.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything he says, you're just like, oh fuck, he just said that.
What's
It's so
interesting.
cool.
What's interesting too is to think that Wesley Snipes took some time off from the character and then to get back into it and then make it even more cool. Like I remember reading an interview where he was like he was a little nervous to get back into the character because it's like, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be better? Like that kind of stuff. Well, that leaves me.
Yes, it does.
Mhm.
This is the number that I wrote down. 4.8.
Ooh.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was gonna be me.
Subvert some expectations.
There you go.
That
Was close. It was close, baby.
I was really nervous. Actually, I was like, wait, am I going to be the grump?
So with a 4.7, that means I
You were the grump.
am the grump. Meaning we got some shout outs here. T-Dog gets a shout out. Charlotte G gets a shout out. And Matt R. Y'all get shout outs.
keep tallying them points, people.
Yeah.
How dare you? 4.7?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Well, I gave the first Blade a 4.3.
All of us gave it 4.3s.
Yeah. So 4.7. It's a big jump. It's a big jump.
Wow. Well,
There you have it.
that is the thing. That is it.
No, that's Blade 2.
No, you're right. That's right. We still have to do 3.
No.
We do have to. We
Now
have
we do.
to.
Because of your reaction just now?
Yeah.
We do.
The new one's coming out. We got to finish this one. We did the other two.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is our episode on Blade 2. Let us know what you thought
I believe it's in you, Tom.
of Blade 2. I thought we were going to grab hands.
I said Tom, but Tom punched his mic.
It's a team effort. We're doing it. Thank you so much for listening.
Trinity. Like a Blade Trinity.
Whoa! You're right.
I killed Tom with that.
You just broke him. Let us know what you thought about Blade. My favorite way to continue the conversation is to head on over to the Discord, nerdon.tv/Discord, join it, accept all the rules, and then go to the movie channel. And let's continue the conversation. There's also a channel for Nerd on the Podcast, Nerd on Update, the Capeless Crusaders. Shout out to them, our sister show. But that's the Discord is dope. And if you are a member of the Nerd On Nation, Dorp's Core. What did I just say?
You said Dorp's Core.
What did I just say? You ever walk away from a scenario and you go,
Dorp's Core. Join our Dorp's Core.
Why did I say that?
It's so good to eat.
It's so... Oh, I'm so embarrassed right now. Anyway,
I'm so embarrassed. Can I call you so?
Oh, it's getting worse. Check out our website, nerdon.tv. It has all of the information that I could possibly throw out here, including our YouTube.
Dorp's Core.
The Dorp's Core, nerdon.tv/Dorp's Core. Now I gotta make that.
No.
And then so it links to a clip of this section of the episode.
Welcome to the Dorp's Core.
It's just a clip that just repeats
You're here at the
over and
Dorp's Core. Just that.
10 hours of
Put that
why?
video in. Welcome to the Dorp's Core. Whoa. You made it. That's the door. That's the landing page.
We have do in the background.
Man.
I'm so glad we have fun here. Wherever you are listening, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we are everywhere podcasts can be heard. And stop by, rate and review us there. And while you're there, share us with your friends and family. There's a little button. I think it has like a square with an arrow up. Share it to everything. Squareo.
That's the new term.
Yeah,
Hit that squareo.
Yeah.
Send it to your friends, your family. If you didn't like it, send it to your enemies.
Exactly. We have to end this episode because it's just getting worse as we go.
Dorp's Core.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. You know the drill. As always, Nerd On!
Ending broadcast.